that's jazz, right? This is Suspenders Unbuttoned, a podcast where friends talk with friends about TV, movies, and books.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Suspenders Unbuttoned podcast. My name is Sarah.
And I'm Julie, and we're excited to have John Michael Ferrari, singer-songwriter, with us today. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Sarah and Julie. Thank you. And this is Jazz right here.
Hello,
welcome, Jazz.
Perfect name.
We were telling John that bringing your pet to the podcast is a legitimate thing on our podcast. So
it happens more often than not.
We've had a bunch.
The beauty of these like home podcasts, right? You get to see a little bit of the person in their environment, which is really
we're kind of, because we really don't know where we're at. Like, you're in the closet.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm in the kitchen. And Julie, where are you?
I'm in my daughter's old bedroom. And that's the way it goes.
Wherever you can find internet and quiet.
Yes. And we have a nice studio, just no internet, you know?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It happens. That's happened more than once on the podcast too.
Yeah,
so
you'd be
you're
surprised.
in good company.
Yeah, surprised. The internet connection, especially when people are on the road, like and they're in hotels, that internet is often a little sketchy.
They used to charge a lot of money when you came to Vegas. Now it's free most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But in the hotel rooms, they charge you a lot of money to have Wi-Fi. Now they don't so much.
Yeah.
It's so commonplace.
Right. The standard is you better have somewhere. We're going to go somewhere else. Right.
It's changed a lot.
Have you guys been to Vegas lately at all?
I have. Yes.
Oh, yeah. We go there all the time. We were there yesterday, rehearsing and stuff. But we live in a little place called Pahrump, Nevada. It's about 50 miles east of west of Las Vegas.
Okay.
We have a nice ranch, and with animals, we have chickens and goats and peacocks, dogs, cats, desert tortoises. These are all of our little pets. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
That's super fun. I love some fresh eggs for baking too. So.
We have fresh eggs every day.
Yeah. I love that. They also separate way better than the ones from the grocery store, right? Those are my favorite. Well, we're having you on because you are a singer-songwriter, and you have a new single out, Music with You. Tell us a little bit about that song.
Well, I had the title Music with You, but I couldn't figure out what to put with it. I've had it for about a year, and I tried other things, and I just had that title, and nothing seemed to work. And then one day I was just getting into my zone, and it just started to flow. The whole song, the concept of driving in my car one day, I was listening to the radio, and one of my songs came on, and it got me thinking about this girl that I wrote the song for, and I was on my way to a job. And this whole thing, Music with You, riding in my car, listening to my song, going to sing for all these audience, for the people, I've come here to Music with You, and it just kind of all flowed together, once I had the concept.
I love that. I think it's so interesting how different people write, whether it's a song or a movie or a book, and how that always starts. So I kind of love that you had the concept, which was the title of the song, and then the song spilled from that, rather than, we've heard somebody say like, oh, I had a lyric that I liked and then I made a song.
Sometimes it comes quickly. My best writing I do when I close off to the world. No TV, no radio, no nothing. I just live in complete silence. And I have a little place in the back of the property. It's a trailer. And sometimes I'll go back there because I have a beautiful view of the mountains. And I just sit there with jazz. And I just try to get into the zone and try to tap into that magical place where lyrics come. Because once I tap in there, it's not like I'm coming up with the lyrics. It's like magically someone else is coming up with the lyrics and they're feeding it through me. Then I know I'm in my zone.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to try to come up with the lyrics myself, and they're okay. But when I get into that zone and that gift comes to me, then I know I'm in the right place. Those are
Mhm.
my best songs.
I love that. It's like once one thing starts the whole cascade, it just keeps flowing.
But you got to get into that zone. You have to cut yourself off from uh, everything around you. Other music, no news, no television, just a complete silence. And then you can just hear that voice inside of you, and it just speaks to you, and it gives you all these wonderful gifts, because that voice is always there, but it's masked because of all the exterior sounds around us.
Hmm.
We don't hear it.
Right.
But the moment we turn off all the exterior sounds, we can tune into that, and that's what I do my best writing when I do that. And living on a ranch, we have 5 acres, so we have plenty of room. I have plenty of room to take walks and things, or even when I go to the gym, I hear the music they're playing there, but I'm still in my own zone.
Right.
Do lyrics and music come separately, or do they come together?
They could both, I like to sit and play the guitar or the piano sometimes and look for combinations of what I want. Um, then when I have the song, I think I have it, then I start structuring it in a certain particular format. Format is everything. If you don't have the right pre-chorus leading into the chorus, if it's not strong enough, the song is going to be weak. So when you really have it formatted and you can look at it, you look at the structure. Okay, here's my intro. Here's my verse. It's eight bars. Here's the pre-chorus. It's 4 bars, and here's the chorus. Another 8 bars. Then it starts over again. Then I'm going to come to the bridge. I have it exactly the way I want it. And once I have the format, everything works pretty well. Because when I write for radio broadcast.
Okay.
Not everybody writes that way. But if you want your songs to be played on the radio, you have to format it for radio quality, radio broadcast. And that's what I do with my songs. Some people think, why can't I get my songs on the radio? It's a good song. It is, but if it's not structured correctly for a radio, they're just not going to play it.
That's interesting.
Huh. Right.
I've never thought of that before.
The algorithms won't pick it up on Spotify and all. It'll just slip on by. They look for that structure. They look for that format, and they look for the time frame. Because you have to have that chorus. Hit the chorus in the first 40 seconds to 50 seconds. You got to hit the chorus. Listen to any pop song. If it's structured well, they're going to hit that chorus within that time.
Right. It makes sense hearing you say that. I just never. Yeah.
Right. I was thinking about algorithms for like social media, Instagram or TikTok. Think about algorithms for like Spotify or any of those other music playing, streaming. But I bet I can totally see that. That's a deal.
Well, it's got to be structured. Then when the chorus hits, that's where your title is usually. And at the beginning of the chorus, at the end of the chorus, the 2 places where your title is going to be in the song. It's expected. Once in a while, it's not. But for the most part, if you want to get your songs on the radio, follow the format. Just get the format down.
Wow. So what was the first, what did you start doing first? Did you start writing songs first, or were you playing or singing, or like what happened first to make you realize you wanted to do this?
Well, I was a little kid, and I got my guitar when I was about 8 years old, and I picked it up and I didn't know how to hold it. It was just a big guitar.
Yep.
And I thought I'd go look at a picture of Elvis. I thought, however he's holding the guitar, I'm going to hold it that way. And so I held it the same way. As it turns out, I'm left-handed. So I should have actually played it the other way, but I played it the way he played it, and it worked out.
Wow.
But I'm left-handed, so I write left-handed, but I can play guitar, I guess, right-handed. I don't know.
Well,
that's
I love that you just like looked at a picture and you're like, yep, that's how it's done.
That's it. If he's doing it that way, work for him.
I mean, Elvis. Yeah. If he's doing it, that's what you should be doing. Yep.
And then I just started learning chords and coming up with melodies, but I didn't take it seriously. Even in high school, when I was playing in high school rock and roll bands, I did a little writing, but I really just didn't. I didn't know anything about the business, and I just did Beatles songs and whatever. Was popular.
Well, so did everybody else. So let's,
And I was happy with that because I was popular.
Right. Right. No, because you're playing in a band and
Yes, we want to become popular. Play in a band. That's
right.
the way,
Yeah.
that's the way you do it.
Right.
So you've been playing since you were about 8 years old. So that's
I
amazing.
did, and I started making a living at it after I got out of the military.
Mhm.
I went right into playing little nightclubs. You see that guy in the corner at the steakhouses playing
Yep.
guitar.
Love
That
the
was
guy in the
me.
corner. That's my favorite, actually.
Yeah, I did that for years, and
Mhm.
I made a nice living at it, and I was
Mhm.
very fortunate. And it wasn't until later on in life that I actually started writing. After I met Pepper J, that I started writing songs, and then she said, "Well, we're going to Nashville and record these songs." And once we did that, and hired a radio promoter, and the radio promoter said, "Well, the fact that you're unknown and the idea that you would even get any of your songs on the radio are very slim because you're not known." But we had radio structured songs ready to go.
Uh-huh.
And within a couple of months, we had our first song on the charts.
Awesome.
And then we were at the very bottom, but we were so excited
You're
to see
on
our
the
name.
chart. You
We're at
are
the
on
very
the chart. Because
I
there's
think
so many people never make the chart. So it's a huge accomplishment, actually.
Right.
I was at the bottom. Taylor Swift was at the top. Ed Sheeran was at the top. Adele was at the top. So
But
each
you're
week
on
when
the chart.
the charts came out, I moved up. I kept moving up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I was 26 and Taylor Swift was 25. And I thought, we're dating now.
Yeah. We're
Right.
practically married.
And
Yeah.
what song was that?
I think, which one? So Beautiful.
So beautiful.
Called So Beautiful. And ever since then, we've been really fortunate that our songs have made the charts. Just one of those things, but that pays off because having the radio format allowed us, even though I was unknown, to at least compete and get ourselves up there. That's how important structure is.
Right. So you went into it right away, kind of playing the games like smart. You and your team were very smart about it. And we're like, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it this way so that we get picked up. And
right, absolutely. And when you're in a band and you learn how to play all these different songs, you can become familiar with the formats.
Right.
How exactly is the format and all these hit songs that you're covering, from cover songs, the structures. So when I started writing songs, I knew the structures. So I just, copied the structure. Whatever that structure was, I knew there were about 4 or 5 different structures you can use, and I use those and I intertwine them differently. And even today, before the broadcast, I was working on a new song we're recording next week in Nashville.
Fun.
And we're still struggling with the structure. Pepper and I are going over it. And I think we got it, but it's the pressure because we already hired all the musicians.
Right.
So I got to have it ready.
Time crunch.
Still got to have the structure in there just right.
Sometimes you thrive under pressure, though. It's like, all right, let's get it done.
Yeah, just keep doing it. I guess so. Yeah.
Right.
Is it hard to be in your zone when you have that pressure on you?
Well, yes and no. It's exciting, but I do need that time. And like we were working on the song today, and later on, I'll probably take a walk around the property and just kind of go through the song in my head and see what comes. But I think we got the song down pretty much the way we want it, because they're going to write out the charts for all the musicians next week.
Right.
And so we had to send the chart that we wrote and the song the way we want it. And so when we send it to Nashville, the arranger there will write out the musical charts for all the musicians.
Right.
And I guess we can make last minute changes. They do. Musicians are so good.
Right.
I mean, they are just.
These are professionals. You're a professional. They're professionals. This is
I mean, if you listen to any of my songs, I mean, I think the most gratifying thing is the people when they hear the songs, they say the quality is just so good. That's because it's Nashville. Because Nashville players, the studios, and the mix. Who does? David Buchanan does the final mix on everything and adds all the beautiful EQing and everything. It's just it's a process.
Right.
No, I've never been to Nashville. Julie, have you?
No, we're both never been.
Yeah.
Well, it's a party town. It's a party town, I tell you. And it's a songwriters town. It's a town for songwriters.
Right.
If you're a songwriter, you go there and you meet other songwriters and you socialize, network, and that's how you kind of get yourself known.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We've been doing that, so we're kind of known, around there, and we've met a lot of good songwriters, and I've co-written a new song called "Working My Way to Nashville" with Ray Ligon. He's a old favorite of Nashville. Has been there
Yep.
for many years, and that's a new song we got coming out. Actually, it's competing against the song right now. Pepper and I say we're competing against ourselves.
Right.
We wrote this other song. This other guy's singing, and we're up for an award, I think, next week in Nashville, and we're on the same list of awards. So we're competing
fun.
against each other.
So as long as one of them wins.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Whatever one wins, that's fine.
Yeah.
Um,
Exciting.
That's exciting to have multiple pieces, though, working their way through the charts and awards. It's a good place to be as a musician.
Well, I think when I was younger, it was just, it was like, yes, there are songwriters and people singing out there, but I never saw myself because I didn't know how to get into the business. I
Right.
knew nothing about it. But now that we're in it, when I give advice to people, it could save them years of,
Right.
here's the steps. If you take these steps, you're going to have a better chance.
Mm.
And we try to help other people and we guide them, but everybody has their own idea of what they want. They want
Right.
to do it their way. A lot of songwriters familiar with, they don't want to be familiar with a structure. They want to write it the way they want to write it. They say, this is me, this is how I write, and that's fine.
But I love that you mentor people and
Yeah.
you give that information because they can take it and they can choose to apply it or not to apply it, but that they have it because there's, everyone's got to acquire their information from somewhere, and a mentor, that's a great place to be.
Well, you got to know your end goal. That's what I ask them. So, what is your end goal? Is it to get radio play, or is it just to record a song? If it's to get radio play, then here's the structure you have to follow. If you just want to write a song for your family and friends, then write a song for your family and friends. But then, if you want to write it in structure, then I would suggest go to a professional studio. I have my own studio here, and I make my demos. But and people hear them, they go, "Well, why don't you put that out there?" There's a big difference between what I do in my studio and what we do in Nashville, because you can hear the difference.
Right.
Big difference between home studio recording, unless you really know what you're doing in a home studio. It's like an airplane cockpit, all those buttons and all those things, and what do they all do? And I thought, it's confusing to me. I know how to do a little bit, but I work on the creative side. I'm going to create music. Pepper and I will go through the lyrics. We'll go everything, get it how we want it. And then we go take it to Nashville, and that goes to the next level.
It's a team. Everybody has a piece for the puzzle. The musicians, the writing, the lyrics, the mixing, the production of it. It's like all the pieces together makes the song, right?
Yeah, it's a crew. Everybody working together. And, that's the thing about it. All these top musicians, they may just come from a studio with another session with Garth Brooks or somebody like that. The same players, then on their schedule is Ferrari. They come and they give it 100% of their attention and the best they can do. And they come up with their ideas. Like sometimes they'll say, "Well, do you want it played the way you played it?" And I go, "No, play it how you want to play it." And other times I'll say, "Yes, I want you to play it exactly the way I played it, because that's what I want." And they'll do whatever you want. They're there to make your song the best they can possibly make it.
Because they're professionals too, right? Like, I love that.
Yeah. And the engineer and one guy, he was doing a solo on one of my songs, and I thought, my gosh, that solo is so good. But you got to be an expert guitar player to play that. So I asked the guy, I said, "Can you simplify that solo? Because as good as it is, most people couldn't play that. I couldn't, So so he simplified it. And when he did that, everybody looked around and said, "Yeah, that's better." because now somebody else can pick up with the guitar and they could play
And
it.
play your
Right.
music.
And that's the whole idea. You want to make it simple, as easy as you can for other people to learn the song, play your song.
Because that's another way to spread the music, right? That's how people get to know you. They're hearing it other places and they're like, hey, check out John Michael Ferrari. You can find him, where you find music. This is one of his songs, right? That's often how I hear about new musicians too.
Yeah, and and when we go to Nashville, you would just assume that it's going to be just country, and it's funny because we ended up not only on the country charts but on the pop charts, both charts.
Yeah.
On the same chart as Ed Sheeran, and he's definitely pop.
Right.
We're not quite that pop, but some of our songs ended up on the top 40, as pop songs.
Crossover artist of the year.
Yeah, and I was crossover artist of the year. Pepper just reminded me. She said
Right.
across.
Right. Yeah, because you have some great awards here. You have a few awards that you have gotten. So you're up for an award. What awards are you up for right now?
What am I up for?
I think it's another songwriter of the year.
It's another songwriter thing
Right.
in Nashville.
Okay.
You have outstanding singer-songwriter of the year for Producer's Choice Honors in 2019. You have Best Peace Song of the Year from the Hollywood Tribute to the Oscars by
Oh yeah.
In 2020. Those are some great awards.
I'll tell you a story. So we were invited by the Oscar. Was it 2020?
Yeah.
They called Pepper and they said we'd like John to come and perform. And it's a song, peace song of the year. It's called Like a Rock and Roll Band.
Okay.
So they're in Hollywood. We check in the hotel at the Beverly Hilton and everything. And then we go down for a sound check. And I walk up and the guy's behind the console and everything. And he looks at me and goes, oh, you're Ferrari. And I go, I'm Ferrari. Yes. He goes, okay, where's your band? I go, I don't have a band. He goes, what? You don't have a band? I said, it's just me. He says, just you, no band?
And the guitar.
And the guitar. I said, he goes, okay, that's interesting. He says, all right, well, let's cue you up to go on stage. And I got on stage, played my guitar and started singing. And he made me sound so good, filled up the whole place, So that night when I came on stage, they announced me, I'm in between one of the awards. I came on stage and I sang a rock and roll band. And as I finished the song and I looked to my left, I saw these 3 or 4 girls carrying this big trophy and walking up towards me, and they awarded me Peace Song of the Year. And I had no idea.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, oh, that's amazing. I mean, I didn't even know that was going to happen.
What a cool experience as a professional. Just to have something you've written and sung have that recognition, that's amazing.
Yeah, the recognition, it's interesting. It's good. It's nice. People go point at you and they go, hey, you're that guy. They go, yeah.
Right? So tell us a little bit about that song that got that recognition.
Well, here's it's funny. Like a rock and roll band, I wanted to create a song that would bring people together. And I worked on it for about 6 months, maybe. And it took a while before I got it. And then I went to a seminar. I'm going to tell this story. Okay. I went to a seminar in Hollywood. And they have auditors there that will listen to your music and critique your music.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat there in front of him and I gave him my CD and he played it. And he listened to the song and he looked at me. He goes, what else you got? And I go, I have another song. And he said, because this song doesn't make any sense. He said, like a rock and roll band come together. Like, what does that mean? I don't even know what that means. I can't imagine anybody singing this or playing this song. And he didn't like it. And so the next day it was in front of another music auditor. And I played the song and he said the same thing. He said, I don't get the song. It's just, I don't, he says, just keep trying, kid. And that was the song that won Peace Song of the Year at the Academy Awards.
It went up the chart.
Went up the charts, and so you never know. I mean,
Right.
people who critique your songs, and here's the thing. I always feel like I never ask another writer to critique my song or anybody else. There's, in fact, Pepper and I, we're the only ones. We listen to what we're doing. If we like it, we put it out there. We don't play it for anybody. If we know the way the structure should be and everything, because when you play your song for somebody else, you don't know where they're coming from. They may
Right.
feel intimidated, or whatever it is. It's just not a good fit. So it's a hard thing to do, to ask someone else to listen to your song and critique it. That's a dangerous thing to do.
But he got good reviews. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got good reviews and a good song, and
Also, both of those people said they didn't understand it, but clearly so many did understand it when it's going up the charts and it's winning awards like Peace Song of the Year.
And
Well,
you're
here's the
seeing
thing.
it at the Oscars, right?
Here's the thing. Many times there are organizations where you can submit your music and they'll tell you, we want a song like Adele. Write a song like Adele, but not like Adele. Or
Right.
write a song like Ed Sheeran, but not like Ed Sheeran.
Right.
They want you to be yourself, but they want you to be a carbon copy of somebody else.
Right.
So when I write my songs, I'm not trying to be like anybody else. So I don't fit in that genre.
Right.
And that's where they're coming from. It's like they listen to my song, they go, well, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit here. It doesn't fit there. It doesn't fit there. But the audience who listens to the song, they like it. And they'll place it wherever they want.
Right.
So you just never know.
And it's interesting with streaming and the way like my kids listen to music now. Their music lists are so eclectic because they will pick things from all different genres. They will pick things from different decades. Like they don't have quite the restraints that we had when we were younger. We listened to our music at that time. These kids listen more globally.
Yeah, and because there's so much more out there. There's so much more than what's just on the radio.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
My songs are in Europe. They're all over the world now. And we get, Pepper gets calls from people. And it's funny because our songs mean some foreign country. I mean, she said, oh, guess where your song is charting now? And she goes through all the charts. She keeps up.
Yeah, I like that. She's
nice.
She's a detail person. I like that.
Listening to my music way over there, in a different country, Australia.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. I
You
love
never
that.
know who's going to reach, But I wasn't trying to be like anybody else. My influences are from the 60s and 70s.
Yep.
But I write in today's structure.
Okay.
And I try to make it sound current. But that was my influences. So it's different. So I really don't fit in any genre, but people recognize the song and say, well, there's a familiarity about the song.
Right.
Because it follows all the other structures. All the songs that you like and hit, I'm still in that same structure. So it's going to sound familiar to you.
Yeah. So who are some of your influences?
Well, a lot of my influences are like
Wrecking Crew.
I like the Wrecking Crew. I'm influenced by not just singers, but by the musicians that play the music.
Right.
David Foster, Burt Bacharach, Quincy Jones. When I listen to music, I listen for the production quality. I listen for how the arrangement is. So when I do my songs, I try to give it as much arrangement as I can. And then when I take it to Nashville, they even make it better.
Right.
So I don't have one artist that I try to be like. I'm more influenced by the other people who are producing music.
Right. How it's the global sound of it. The global.
Like there's a string line. Oh, I love that string line and the way those horns come in and the way all the different things. That's what I listen for.
Right. All right. What's some music with the horns coming in that you like?
Like there's a song More Today Than Yesterday. I don't remember what day it was.
Yeah.
Well, you're new and that's what you do.
And I have had a song we just recorded called That's What You Do. And I have my horns in that song, that it's a swing song that I was influenced by that song, that it kind of made me write this next song, That's What You Do.
Right.
And it's got the same little swing and the horns. And that's for 2024. And it's not really a country song, but I think we have a slide guitar in there, don't we? Yeah, I think we have a slide guitar in there. You put a slide guitar in there, it becomes country.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, just put the guitar on the side. They won't even hear it, but they'll know it's country.
I love that. I love that.
That's funny. What about are there any like current musicians or songwriters that you admire? I mean, you mentioned David Foster.
Well, there's so many. I mean, you got to give it to Ed Sheeran and Taylor Swift. I mean, they're excellent at what you do. There's Max Martin. Have you heard of Max Martin?
No.
Max Martin, he writes a lot of these songs for Taylor Swift and for all who else, some of the other female singers, all the female singer artists. He writes them. He's probably the most unknown successful songwriter who's had more hits than the Beatles.
Yeah.
You know, but he writes these songs, and he's all about structure. It's all about the structure. It's about a fourth grade level of listening to the songs. Don't get too sophisticated. You know, keep it simple and repetitive. Always repeating something over and over again. And that's how he writes. His name is Max Martin. Maybe some of the people listening are familiar with him. But if you're not, look him up on the internet, and you'd be surprised all these songs he's written for people.
Yeah, and we probably know them all.
Right.
Yeah, you know all of them. Yeah.
I love it. What's the last concert that you've gone to see?
Oh, yes. We were just sitting with somebody the other night, and they said they went to a Barry Manilow concert.
Oh, geez.
And well, I was singing at this event a couple of nights ago, and I was sitting next to this lady, and she said, "Oh, guess where I went the other night?" I said, "I don't know." She said, "I went to a Barry Manilow concert," and I haven't seen him in years.
I'm like, Barry's still singing?
Oh my gosh, he's a hit here in Las Vegas.
Okay.
At the Westgate Hotel, I think it is.
Okay.
And she loved it. I mean, but he is a top entertainer. I mean, he's a great entertainer. And the hits, you can't fit them all in an hour and a half.
Right.
You know? Right. But we haven't gone to any. That's the last show we went to was the guys in blue. What was that? Blue Man Group.
Yeah, the Blue Man Group from Las Vegas. Yeah, yeah. Are they still at the Luxor? Is that still?
I saw them there 20 years ago.
Really? I'm thinking, why are we going to this thing? You see these guys in blue, you know, it's like, I wasn't excited about going, but after we went, it was a great show.
Yeah.
They put on a show. They know
how to
put
on a show.
They
did a great show, you know. I mean, it's been there for years. I haven't gone to a concert in a long time, you know. Because I put on the concerts.
Right. Because you put on concerts.
That was my next question. Yeah.
Is there some place we can see you perform?
Well, in Nashville next week, John Michael Ferrari. You go to johnmichaelferrari.com/tour, and you'll see the different places that I'm performing. A lot of places in Nashville next week.
Okay. I'll grab that and put that up in our Insta stories too. So, okay.
Yes, if you're in the Nashville area, you know, you come down there.
Yeah, we actually know
quite a few people there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or when you come down to Vegas, you come and see us on the ranch in Vegas.
We'd love that. We need to do a tour, Julie. Like,
go find all these people.
Yes.
Because we love this format. We can talk to you from wherever. And so then everybody's like, come on by.
And we have a teepee you can sleep in. We have this, we just put up this teepee and we have guests and people that they sleep in it.
Oh, that's so fun.
It's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
Oh my gosh. Oh, somebody in the comments is saying,
Lillian, she said Barry had a full house here in Florida for Christmas.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. He's such a great entertainer. I mean, you know, you can hear people, you can see them, you know, on TV and in a video. But when you see these people in person, it's like Bruno Mars. I mean, he's a big hit here.
Right.
He's a hit everywhere. But
he's a hit everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, we should go see his show. I'd like to see his show.
Yeah, I bet Bruno puts on a show, right?
You should call him, see if we can get free tickets.
Smoother than a fresh share of Skippy.
Ferrari, his name's Ferrari. Get me in, stick me in.
Oh right?
So
That's-
we have to ask you about your books, because you are the author of a few books, right? Acting with Your Eyes and the
Oh,
Dynamic
yes.
Song Performance. So tell us a little bit about your journey in writing.
Here's this one here. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes,
Oh.
yes, the Singer's Bible.
Yes, that's interesting. I was reading that the other day, and I was thinking, well, we're pretty smart.
You are pretty smart.
Did we write that stuff? Well, it's funny. I wrote a book called Acting with Your Eyes. And when we lived in Hollywood, all of our friends were actors. And we all dabbled into acting and things like that. And I came with this concept of how to be on front of a camera, using just your eyes when you're communicating. And I put that in a book because I do it on stage when I'm performing.
Right.
I'll sing a phrase to one portion of the audience, and then another phrase over here, and then I'll move to another phrase. It's all about phrasing. And I thought, I bet you that would work for acting. And when I used it, it always worked very well. And I taught it to my friends, and they would all come back and say, oh my gosh, I used your method on camera and it worked. It's like, I didn't have to do anything, because they always tell you less is more.
Right.
But they don't say what to replace it with.
Uh-huh.
So I gave them an exercise and a way to do it. That's called Acting with Your Eyes. That's the book right there.
Okay.
And it works. You can read this book in 20 minutes. I mean, it's just how many pages?
Yeah, I love it.
It's 40 some pages. And it made it real easy. And if you're into acting, it works. It just, you say your line, you look down, you come back up, you look away, you come back. That, it's all about that. The eyes, the phrasing, how you move. If you learn to do that, then you feel like you have something to do without overacting. But I use that on stage all the time. Great performers always use that on stage. If you watch Sinatra, Barry Manilow, Rod Stewart, they all use these methods. Even if they don't know they're using them, they're using them. And because people want to know, what do I do when I get on stage? They don't know what to do.
Right.
But if you learn this method, it's easy to be on stage because you always know exactly how you're going to phrase the lyric, where you're going to look at the audience, when you're going to look down, when you're going to look back up. It just goes together. Then Pepper came up with the idea of writing this song. It's how to perform. It's really a great book. Really, this is a lot of pages in this book.
Not a 47-page book.
Yeah, but acting and entertaining is a lot about technique.
Yeah.
You can have a lot of natural talent, but you need technique. Technique is important because, as an actor, especially if you're in a play every night, you're doing the same part every night. You may not feel it. You may not be in that mode, of excitement. You got to come out and do another show. But you can rely on your technique. You're going to give a great show. But if you don't have technique and you're relying on, I'm just going to be exciting and I'll go out there and do whatever I want, it's going to be a hit and miss. You're not going to be consistent.
Right.
And these books are available on Amazon. So
I was going to ask that next. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
John Michael Ferrari on Amazon.
Right.
And they'll pop up.
So I teach, I coach students on the acting and the singing. And I've been coaching singers for a while now. I don't take a lot of them, but I can hear somebody singing and I can tell immediately what they're doing and then correct it. And it's not like they have to go years or any length of time. It's almost like we can solve the problem right now. Within a couple of hours, we've solved the problem. And then we just need to work on it. I can hear it. It's just something about when they're singing, I know they're using the wrong placement, the way they're saying their vowels or whatever it is about technique, and we can fix that problem. And sometimes they've been working with other coaches and they said, well, they've never brought this up. They never said that.
Right.
And I come from working on the stage all the time. When you work on stage, it's all about using good technique because you have to keep your voice strong.
Right.
And if you don't, you're going to miss performances.
Right.
Right.
Right. Technique's important. Structure is important. Technique's important. All these things are important.
We're getting a little master class right now.
Right?
Yes.
Right? Yes.
Even if you have all this wonderful talent, you need technique. You got to have
right.
it.
I love that. Yeah. And your books, I did look on Amazon, had no trouble pulling them up. So you can dive onto Amazon and look for John Michael Ferrari. You're going to find his books. You can buy those there. And I think the turnaround time wasn't very long looking to get those shipped. So
yeah. Takes a few days.
That's it. Got to love that now, right? Just click. Amazon's at your door.
Do you guys sing or anything? Or what do you do?
Go ahead, Julie.
We sing at our household, and it ranges from my son is a choir teacher, a vocal music educator, and theater background. Like we totally do the theater, but I do a lot of like singing and playing guitar in my living room. So
well, now you're going to be on your way to Nashville, right?
No, I sing and play guitar.
You will be playing your song like that. Yeah.
No, music certainly.
If you follow the path there, you can get what you want.
It's singing in my living room. That's fine. I got a job too, but music certainly is a thread that runs through all of everyone in our household, and so I even have albums up as my decoration. So. Well,
it's a commitment, because you're committing to something like, if you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer, if you go to school, you sit there long enough and you take the test, you will become a lawyer or a doctor, if you stick with it. But in this business, you may do everything right and still miss the mark.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that's a no, actually. Not everyone can become a doctor or a lawyer.
Well, yeah.
I work in a hospital.
If you have a strong enough passion and you devote yourself to that.
I'm going to tell you, that's still a no.
You don't have to be a genius. You just have to have the tenacity and the wanting it, and because there are people who take the bar, 7, 8 times, 9. They had somebody on. I was watching this interview. They took the bar 30 some times to finally.
Oh, geez, no.
Who takes it that many times?
No, just
it's like trying to hit a note. If you can't hit it, give up. But don't give up. Don't give up. It's just you just keep trying it.
I love it. I have no musical talent.
Well,
but my daughter does. So.
Okay.
There we go. Yes.
Well, you never know. I worked with this girl, and are we on time limit or anything, or just?
No, you're okay.
No, we have no constraints.
I was working with this young lady, and she said, I always wanted to learn how to sing, and it's been a passion of mine. But my mother always told me I didn't have the talent to sing.
Oh.
And I said, oh, that was too bad. She said, but I'm going home for Christmas, and I really want to sing for her, And so this was a few months before Christmas. We live in LA. And so we were sitting down, and I started to play some notes on the piano, and she seemed to hit the notes really easy. Her pitch was fine. And so we picked the song and started working at it. And I'm thinking, the voice is not bad. It's really good, And we went through the song. We picked a couple of songs that she was going to sing. And within just a short time, her voice just started developing. And so it came time that she was going to go home for Christmas. And so I said, well, you have to let me know how it goes when you're going to sing for your mother. And even when I think about it, it's emotional to me. So she came back. And I said, so how'd it go? She said, I started singing for my mother, and she broke down and started crying. And she said, Mom, what's wrong? And she said, I get emotional. She said, I'm so sorry that I told you that you didn't have talent. And the only reason why I told you that is because we didn't have the money to spend for you on lessons. It was nothing that she didn't. She had the talent. but the parents didn't have the money. So it was easier to say you don't have the talent. And that happens with so many people.
Mhm.
You know, they don't realize they really do have the talent, but somewhere in their mind, somebody said something to them, or somehow they got the idea they weren't talented enough, or they didn't have what it takes. And
Yeah.
all they needed to be with the right person to help them develop that special
Right.
talent.
But it's also why access to the arts in schools is so important, right? To expose kids to all those things. It's just right. But it's you're right. Money is sometimes a limiting factor for a lot of things.
Yeah, you know, because many people have the talent to do things, but for whatever reason, they're scared to try, or it's that little voice that says you don't have what it takes. And we
Right.
all have it. We all,
Right.
we have that passion, and it was a little encouragement. You know,
Yeah.
we may not be the best, but we're certainly going to enjoy doing it. And we don't all have to be on stage performing in concert, you know, in big venues. Just even at home, just have the ability to sing and play. How many people want to play piano?
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
had a
Sing and
girl.
play in your living room. That's what
Yeah,
I do.
I had this girl come over and she said, "Well, I don't know how to play jazz, but she's had music lessons."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Well, I can show you how to do that, and real easy." And I started showing her. Just said, "Just play this scale, and I'm going to play these chords. You play that scale in any order of keys, and you do whatever you feel like." And within moments, she started playing jazz. And she says, "Is this all there is to it?" I said, "Well, no, but that's the basis. I mean,
Right.
when you're playing it." She goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm really playing jazz." And then when her grandfather came to pick her up, she said, "Listen, Grandpa, this is what I can do." And he was like flabbergasted.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know. She said, "I didn't know she could do that."
Yeah.
You just never know. The
Yeah.
right they're showing you the right thing with the right encouragement. You know, who knows what you can accomplish.
Yeah, and I feel like this is a really good life lesson in general. Like you never know when you might be that encouragement for somebody else that really changes their life.
Yeah,
So
because
just being open to encouraging somebody. Yeah.
yeah, because people can be damaged really easy, but and also they can be encouraged really easy. It's just whoever they're around, and we don't know the circumstances. Maybe they don't mean to hurt that person, but like the mother said, we didn't have enough money, and it was easier to tell you didn't have talent instead of saying we didn't have the money.
Right.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking though. That's just hard.
It is. It's sad.
But I'm glad that you could be there to encourage and quickly develop her. That's really actually also it's maybe not, they always say it's too late, but it's not always too late. Like you can learn new things.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, my career didn't happen until I was much later in life, because I didn't know how to go about it. And until Pepper said, "Well, this is what we need to do," because she was a lawyer before becoming a music producer, and she knew how to take things and make things happen. And she said,
Right.
"Is this what you want?" I go, "Yeah." She said, "Well, this is the steps we have to do. We have to take." And along the way, that's what she did. And even to this day, every day she's on the computer talking to people all over the world, promoting the music, doing everything. She's doing everything that a major record company would do.
Right.
And it's amazing. I do what I do. She does what she does, but
And
it would
together it's a team.
without her.
Yeah.
She's doing that.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I feel like that's one of the things we've learned on this journey as podcasters is that so many of the artists, it's like you're running a small business, right? You have this, you have to like get all the pieces in place, and we love seeing how each artist makes that happen, right?
Yeah, because you need to have somebody opposite from who you are. They say opposites attract.
Right.
Because sometimes when you meet somebody, you don't want somebody who's just like you. You want somebody who's the opposite. And Pepper and I are the opposite. And that's what makes us good, because she always sees a different side from what I see. She has skills I don't have. And then I have skills that she has, but she just doesn't want to develop those things. So I can do those,
Yeah.
So we work well together, but I think that makes a good team. It's like two writers. One of them has to be good at lyrics. The other one should be good at music. But if you have two lyricists, then you don't have anybody doing the music. You kind of cancel each other out.
Right.
So you got to, when you have a partner in life or in a business partner, they got to have skills that you don't have.
Right.
So that's what you have to look for. That's what makes a good partnership, either in marriage or business. They have those skills you don't have, and you have the skills that they don't have. You can be successful.
I love that. Should we finish up our podcast and find out some of John's favorites?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Why don't you start?
Sure. Do you have a favorite movie?
Yes. Okay. Well, I have a few. You've got me.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Sabrina.
Yes. Which version?
Both versions. I like both versions because I love Audrey Hepburn.
Yeah.
What's that other one we always watch? Dave. I watched that again the other night.
Yeah.
Dave.
Gosh, yes, I remember that.
There's those what other ones? But we love those kind of movies. I love romantic movies, that kind of thing. Not killing and stabbing. I don't like those.
Yeah.
I can only take that in doses.
Yeah, but we can watch it. If Sabrina comes on and we leave it on for more than a minute, we're going to watch it or the whole thing.
Right.
And I know all the lines.
Right.
I'll take you home. No, I'm going home. She's like, as she lifts the ticket in the air. And Sabrina,
I love that when you know all the lines too, and you can just say them. I love that. It's fantastic.
Well, because they're making you feel good movies, and that's what I want to do. I want to feel good. I don't want to feel depressed.
Right.
Exactly.
Do you have a favorite food, healthy or guilty pleasure?
Okay, I love hot dogs.
Oh,
I love bacon. I have bacon and eggs every morning, just about. And juice drinks.
What about when you're not writing songs and singing and playing? What about a favorite hobby or activity?
I go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Pepper and I go to the gym, and I enjoy that. It's a time out. You feel good because that's the one thing you can do for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's keeping you healthy, and the benefits are amazing. Because I always say, let's go to the gym, and people say, "Oh, I don't feel like going." I said, "That's the time to go."
Yeah,
right.
You always leave feeling good.
Yeah, because many times I don't feel like going to the gym, but once I walk in, I feel good. I say, "Oh, I'm glad I'm here," and I work out, and I come home and feel good. But it's hard. I mean, that's discipline. You got to discipline yourself. That's how when you discipline yourself, doing the things that it's easy not to do. When you do it, you feel a sense of accomplishment. You feel good about yourself. And that's what you have to do. Do the things that are difficult to do that makes you feel good about yourself. And if you give them up, you're not going to feel good about yourself. You're not going to have self-esteem.
Yeah.
And keeping promises. Keeping promises also makes you feel good.
Love that. Do you have a favorite vacation location?
Yes. I was just talking to Pepper yesterday. I said, "You believe it's been 5 years since we've been to Paris?" We said, "We should go back there. I'd love to go back there." That was an amazing thing for me, going to Paris. Pepper she was asked to come there to do a talk. For what was it?
It was Paris Appreciation Day.
Paris Appreciation Day at the Eiffel Tower. There's a place they have in the Eiffel Tower that they hold all these events. And we just had a great time. We just had the food, the traveling, and what we did. That was one of my favorite places. And the artistry. Everywhere you look, there's the statues, the paintings, and the beauty of the artists. The doors on houses. I mean, everything is an art piece. And what these people left behind when they created these wonderful works of art, and they're still there, standing hundreds of years later. Wonderful.
Love that.
I've never been, but it's on my list. What about a show that you like to binge on TV?
A binge show?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I remember I did 24. You remember that movie 24?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I thought that was, they should never do that. Give you songs, all those songs on all those movies on a CD because you said, okay, I'm gonna watch one more.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to watch another one. No, no. And I
Right.
put it in and I said, oh, I'm watching it again. You
Yep.
know, that's dangerous. But you know how you can binge on things like that.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like such the norm now, but
Right. That's how everybody watches now.
hours
Right.
and hours.
And now we're watching Crossing Jordan. I think it's a 10-year-old
Okay.
show.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's hard when you have all the shows right there. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
we could watch all these seasons in like 3 weeks, just sit here one after the other.
I actually kind of love watching that way. For me, that's like the way I prefer to watch. So
Yeah, I do too.
I love it.
Heartland, that was another one of our
Heartland,
favorites.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah. We've
That was
watched
good.
all those Heartlands because that one is like started season 1 and they're airing season 16 now and they're filming season 17.
Are they really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Because I check it all the time to see what I haven't seen 16 yet. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that's just airing and it's on like Up Faith and Family on their streaming service right now.
Oh, okay.
Is like where it is right now, but it's not on Netflix yet. Who's your favorite character on Heartland?
I like Amy and I like her father. You know.
Yeah. Jack played by Sean Johnson.
Yeah, he's cool. He's cool.
No,
Yeah,
her
yeah.
father, not
Oh,
the
her father, Tim.
Tim.
Tim's the father. Yeah.
Tim's the father. He's sassy. Tim's
I
sassy.
read an article, something about he doesn't like cowboy boots or something like that. You know.
Well, if you're going to be on Heartland, they're going to make you wear cowboy boots. So.
Yeah, see, I'd like to be on a show like that. See,
Yeah.
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
You could come in if you could be come in and take care of one of the lost and wayward children that always come there.
Yeah, there'd be some guy hitchhiking on there, you know.
You just come by and then you can sit around and play some guitar with Sean Johnson who plays Jack because
Yeah, they all play guitar. Yeah,
right. He's always playing and singing. So
See, those are wonderful shows. And the thing is, if you have them all available, you sit there and watch them all next. You know.
Right.
I know, except for me because I have kids that are still little and I never get to sit down.
Oh, yeah.
But yes.
Well, okay. I was going to say, why don't you tell us what your new song is?
Our new song, it's Music with You.
Okay.
And it just came out. And
It's already hitting the charts.
is it really? She says it's already getting on the charts.
Yes. Way to go.
See, now they kind of know me. So, they see a new song and they go, oh, here's a new song by Ferrari.
Yeah. And people probably have you saved. So can we find that on all the streaming services?
Yes. Yeah. All the streams. And that's just the first song from our new CD.
Okay.
And in fact, we're going, when we go to Nashville this week, we're going to finish mixing the rest of the songs.
Okay.
So it's not like you finish the CD and you release them all at the same time.
Right.
You release one at a time.
Right.
So when this one runs its course, when it starts coming down the charts, then you release the next song and that goes up. But the funny thing is, some of our other songs from our previous CD are still become on new charts.
Right.
So we're having different songs at different
times.
times depending on where the country is.
Yeah. It's interesting. And now that you've said that the algorithm too, like maybe runs who's going to see the song, I can see how that might not be like, the old days, the radio used to play it and then they didn't play it. Right. And now it's like the algorithm's going to drive it.
Yeah. The algorithm picks the songs.
And on YouTube, there's a lyric video.
And on the YouTube, there's lyric videos. People can,
Right.
There's karaoke of versions of the song. People want to sing it.
Love it. And then you mentioned that you will be performing in Nashville as well. So if people would like to go see you, they can find that on your website.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
And I'll see if I can find that and get that up in our Insta stories too.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And then you're on Instagram too, right?
I think yeah. Pepper makes sure I'm everywhere.
Yep, Pepper's all over it. I love that.
And then she comes out in the morning. She goes, "Okay, here's where we are today," and she goes down the list and all these things. Oh, that's wonderful. And some of the reviews, oh my gosh! I mean, it's weird to hear somebody give you such good reviews. I mean, it's weird in a good way.
Yeah.
You know, because you never know. I mean, because people criticize so easily. You know, sometimes I had this one guy say, "Well, this is not my kind of music, but he's got good songs." You know?
I love that. Well, that's like, it's probably that guy's highest praise too, right? Yeah. Well, I love that. So we can find you on all the streaming services. I'll look to put up your schedule up into our Insta stories. And you can find him on Instagram. Pepper's got him all everywhere.
Yeah, and you know, you should interview Pepper sometime. She's a wealth of knowledge.
Oh, we'd love to.
Yeah.
Because you know, people want to know how to maneuver their way in this business. I mean, she can tell you. I mean, it's not easy, but it's. I mean, that's what you need to have. You need to have a mentor, somebody who's done it and can guide you along. Because you can have a certain amount of success. There's no guarantee, but you're going to do better if you have somebody work with somebody who's done it and made that pathway, and you can follow that path for a little bit. You know.
Love that. Love that.
So important. Hang on 1 second. We're going to end the broadcast and we'll say goodbye off camera. But thank you everybody for watching. And thank you, John Michael, for being here.
Thank you,
everyone.
Okay.